Hello and welcome to Master It Monday Live. I always start a little bit early because I'd like to just make sure everyone has an opportunity to pop on and join the fun. So for the first few minutes, I'm just going to share a little bit about myself and also welcome anyone who joins in. So if you're joining us, please feel free to pop in a comment and say hello. I would love to share who you are and what brought you here today. So I have Ginny Hudson, Ginny from Hudson Valley DKI. Hey, Ginny, how's it going? Nice to see you. Welcome for coming. Feel free to add any questions you might have in the chat as we progress. We're going to be starting very soon. Today's topic is going to be Google Forms and how to use them in your business. Google Forms is very cool. I enjoy using Google Forms in my business. It's a way of asking questions, canvassing businesses, things of that nature, which, sometimes it's just an easy way to get information from people, from whether it's your employees, your staff, or whether it's information from people that may not know about you. This is a great opportunity. Back when we actually were out and about and doing things, we had the opportunity to collect data from people with a sign-in sheet. This Google Forms gives you the availability to do that online. So, and there's so much you can do with Google Forms. It's a very engaging and flexible platform. So I am going to just share with you a couple of things I've done with Google Forms. I've collected information from people and sign-up forms with their interests. So if somebody was interested in a certain topic or a subject that they wanted more information on, I could collect that. I could collect information about how big their business was and how many staff members they had and what was their particular struggle that they needed assistance with. So things like this will help you in your business. Looks like we have Davin who joined us. Davin, say hi and feel free to pop in any questions you might have in our chat. I'm going to be starting in just a minute or two. I'm kind of just rambling a little bit till we ramp up because when we get started, we'll be doing things right from the beginning, and I want to make sure that people have those instructions right from the get-go. So Google Forms allows you to do things such as I mentioned, collecting data. So you can have forms that are in multiple choice questions. You could have them in short answer questions, long answer questions. They can even do attachments or send links. So things like that can help you. You can customize it so that it has things like your logo or business information on there. So there's Davin saying hi. Yes, thank you. I love my office today too. This may be an ongoing theme. You'll see it's a lot better than my boring dining room curtains. So, but today we're enjoying the beautiful New York weather, and it is sunny and bright going on here in lovely Putnam County, New York. Some other things that you can do with Google Forms is actually do things like opt-in. Maybe you don't have a newsletter system yet. Recently I spoke about how MailChimp can be used for free, but maybe you're not at that point where you're ready for that. You can do a sign-up form for your business. Maybe it's something in particular. Maybe you're running a special event. This can be used as a registration form as well. Other suggestions are customer surveys, suggestion boxes, growing your business email list, running a poll, things like, what's your favorite whatever. Or in Davin's case, I know Davin is a financial advisor. It could be, what is your biggest struggle? It could be how many children are in your family. So there are tons of things that you can do. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to get right into the heart of the program. Please feel free to put in any questions that you have in the chat, and I will get to them as I do breaks. I'm going to take my lovely picture off so you can see. Just as a matter of form, can somebody just let me know that they can see my screen okay? Somebody just thumbs up or something in the chat. So here is Google. I'm in my Google Drive, and I got there by just, this lovely little tic-tac-toe board in the corner. If you click on that and go into Drive, that'll bring you into your Google Drive. And with Google Drive, you can do a number of different things. Today, we're focusing, as I mentioned, on Sheets. So, I'm sorry, not on Sheets, Google Forms. So if I click on the plus new, and I scroll down to more, you're going to see Google Forms pop up here. Now, the cool thing about Google Forms is you can create a blank one, or you can do one from a template. For our first exercise, I'm just going to go into creating a blank template. And in here, I'm just going to do a very simple data collection form. So in here, I'm going to put the information form. Please fill out your contact information below. Now we can be a lot more engaging and exciting with this, and you can say, input your information to find out tips and tricks on. Like, one of the great things I like to offer with my business is some free tutorial or some free handout. So for example, I have a monthly hashtag sheet, which gives you all the hashtags that are popular for the month. And that could be an enticement for them to fill out this form. Now, your first question, keep in mind, people don't want to give too much information. Maybe you put first name. And what I usually say with this is make it required. And then you can click over here to add a question. And here I could say last name. And this one, again, short answer, but I'm not going to make it required. Now let's talk a little bit about the different choices you have. So, let's just do this. I always put an email, and this is really important. You can enable email settings, but for now, I'm just going to make it a short answer and make that required. And you can see as I'm adding to this form, it's dropping down. Now, here is where you can do fun things. In Google Forms, you can choose short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, checkbox. Now, the difference between a multiple choice and a checkbox is a multiple choice, you can only select one option. So if I was saying, but checkbox could be multiple options. So I'm going to pick checkbox first. And here I'm going to say, how did you find us? And this, I may want to know where my marketing dollars are being spent, or where my marketing is most effective. So in here, I could say Facebook, I could put Instagram, I can put the newspaper, anything that you think, I could put other, and you can continue to put down things. Of course, I always love to put in word of mouth. And you can say and add other. When they go here, maybe they found you in different places, and you can put that in as well. And this I would not make required. If they want to fill it out, they can. If they don't have to. Other options that you have is this file upload. And this is very cool if maybe you need a picture. Please send us a photograph of whatever. These are things you can do in there. And then these three things I won't cover in this workshop because they are a little bit more advanced, but that kind of gives you a feel for what different options you can have. My drop down is very cool. So drop down could be, I'm just going to do something silly right now and put your favorite color. And in here, I can put down, blue, pink, green, yellow, purple. And again, I can always add other as an option here. So, and I am not going to make this required either. Now, the difference with the drop down is you're going to be able to select from, it'll click on it and select it. One of the things we always deal with a lot with something like this is when you have something like your state. It's a drop down. There's a limited specific thing that you're focusing on. So this is basically our form right now. I can do something fun like go in to customize my theme. I can choose an image as a header. So I'm just going to use this cool candy insert. And when I do that, it's going to kind of pop it up on the top, but you also see it changes your theme colors and you can select different themes that are based on that. If you don't like that, you can also go in and you can select something that has your branding on it. And this gives you the ability to kind of scroll it around, shrink it in maybe a little bit. You can play with these little boxes on the side. And when you do this, you upload it, it'll change your view. I'm just gonna, it's taking a minute to do that. Now, why it picked a green color when my signature color is purple, I don't know. So I just easily just pick from here and go. You also have the ability to change your font. So if I wanted this to be playful, for example, you see how the font changes here. So it could be formal, or a very fancy script. Like that would be great if you were having a party, a fancy party, and you can go back very easily. Close out here. I'm just going to pop in and see if anybody has any questions. Feel free to put them in the chat. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. Now, in here, in settings, you have different options you can do. You can collect email addresses. You can limit somebody to one response only. You can allow the respondent to edit after they submit. And you can also allow them to see a summary of charts. Like say you were running a fun, poll, and you want to know how many people like what colors or whatever is in your business. Like how many people love Facebook, how many people love Instagram, what's their favorite. You can kind of show that so that the summary chart will show people. Here you have the show progress bar. So if you have multiple questions, you can see the progress if you'd like. And you can also do a confirmation message. And then, of course, we can make this a quiz if we wanted to. And there are some options that you can use for that. We're making this a very basic thing. But one of the things I did want to share with you is as I make a change, so in here, what I'd like you to do is while I'm making this change down here, I want you to focus in up on this section that says all changes saved to the drive. As I'm typing, notice it says saving, and then it says all saves. So it automatically saves it. You don't have to worry about that. And this is a very simple form that allows you to do things like collect this. Now, we want to see what this looks like to somebody. I'd click this little preview button. It looks like a little eyeball. And then this is what the form looks like. And, I've got to tell you, you're looking up here, and this is a very gobbledygooky kind of convoluted text. You can shorten that. So you can go in here once you viewed it, which is great. I'm going to close out of that. But if I want to send this out, I can send it via email. I can send a link out, or I can embed it using HTML code if I wanted to and put it on my website. So in here, you can see how this very long, very convoluted link looks like. You can do a shortened link, and that cuts it down a little bit. But one of the things that some people use is something like tinyURL. This is not a Google app, but what I can do is I can take this form, either the long one or the short one, doesn't matter, and I can do something like, and you can see here, I've used this before, where I make it tinyurl.com and then something else. And then you just make the tinyURL. It's a little bit more intuitive than what we were doing. So that's one option you can do, or you can just directly send it out to your email list. So autosave is a great feature. We've got Carolyn joined us. Hello, Carolyn. Feel free to ask any questions as we're going through. One of the things that I did want to show you, I'm going to go into this other form that I created. Now, remember, all of these are free. This is a free service you have with your Gmail account. It stores in your Google Drive. You can see now I have 2 things in my Google Drive. So I'm looking at this RSVP, and I just created this as a template. This was actually a template, and I'll zip back and show you how I did this. But in here, I'm asking questions like, will you attend? Can you make it? What are the names of the people attending? How did you hear about the event? And any comments or questions. So I entered 3 responses, and here are this is the cool thing about this. This automatically generates. I did nothing. I just went into responses here, and I'm seeing a nice graphical representation of who can attend and who can't. I can also see any responses. Now, obviously, the person who didn't attend didn't put names down, and I'm going to show you how I know that. And then here, how did you hear about the event? This is really great. Website, friend, newsletter, advertisement. You want to know how they found out. And then you have some comments. Again, in this view, you don't really get a good feel for who's saying what. And that's where it comes into the individual response. As you can see, this is 1 of 3. So in here, I'm seeing the first response. I'm going to go to the second response, and I can see that. And I can go to the third response. But this is my favorite feature in Google Forms. This button right here is a magic button, and it will create an automatic Google Sheets document for you with all of the data that people put in a sheet that you can then view everything. So I'm just going to create, I just click that little green button. I'm going to create a new sheet called RSVP Responses. I'm going to hit create, and on the fly, it's going to take the responses and put them in a Google Sheet. What's even better is if I add to this, it will automatically be added right to the bottom. So I just do this once, and every single time somebody adds something new, they're just populated right in here. And this is time-stamped, so I know when when it was done. I have all of this information here. Now, granted, this was a, kind of something I played with, but there are things on this form that I really want to have. I want to have their name, not just the person who's RSVPing, but I would also collect some kind of contact information, their phone number, their email, especially for a business. Look, you're collecting this information, you want their contact information. Whatever your primary mode of communication is, ask for that, at least that. So I would definitely, in my case, I always want their email address. My CRM is based on first name and email address. So I have to make sure I collect that information. Otherwise, I can't import the information into my CRM system. And most CRM systems have the ability to import in from a comma-separated value file or an Excel spreadsheet. With Google Sheets, just so you're aware, you can export this out into, you can download it into an Excel, into an open ODS, a PDF, all of these things, comma separated value. So you have that opportunity to do that, which is fantastic. So that's sort of kind of like I would say like my favorite feature. Now, say your poll has ended or your party, you say that you have to register by June 10th, and you can actually turn off accepting responses, and you could put, sorry, you missed our event. Please reach out to us, blah, 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 whatever you want to say here, so that you don't just leave it with that canned response. Like I would definitely say, sorry, you missed our, Master Media's, whatever the name of the event is, make it specific. And then, include your email, your website, we're having upcoming events. Please contact us so we can add you to our database, things like that. So we've got some question. Where does the information get captured? Oh, okay. So Davin is asking, where does the information get captured? So it actually sits in your Google Drive affiliated with this Google form. So if I go back into this again, the responses are here. And that's why exporting them to view them on a spreadsheet like we created here is so invaluable. So it sits there. Oh, we got George popping in. Hi, George. Nice to see you. So that is Google Forms in a nutshell. I'm going to just close out of these two things for a second. Oh, did want to pop in. I promised I'd mention this. So if I'm in, we're talking about templates. If I go into New and I select, I have to move my mouse. I'm not clicking here. I'm just moving my mouse. Do you see this little arrow greater than sign here? If I select from a template, Google Forms has some templates already started to help you if you didn't want to take, like this one I love, this Find a Time is a very cool one. This allows you to do things like, what's the best time for you? And you can just click. This was one of those advanced features we were talking about, this checkbox grid. So you don't have to figure out how to do it. It does it for you. You just have to edit it, which is nice. And again, here's, this is a bulleted list. I'm just going to view this so you can see how this works. It looks in real life. So here, I have to put down my email address, and then I can just select the different options, and you can see it doesn't matter what I do. I don't work on Fridays. Done. You don't check Friday, but you have these options that you can check and uncheck if you need to, and you can type in, whatever you need here. But this is a drop down, and I've got to tell you, with something like this, I would not. I'm sorry, this is not a drop down. This is a multiple choice. I would not make this multiple choice. I would have made this a checkbox, and I'll tell you why. Because somebody could be a vegetarian and gluten-free. Somebody could be kosher and a vegan. So there are different things that you want to make sure, or they may have another allergy or dietary restriction. So just because you've created this form is there doesn't mean you can't change it. So in here, I would take multiple choice and I'd make it a checkbox, and it immediately changes it on the fly for you. So when I go to preview it, you can see now I can select vegetarian, kosher, and gluten-free. I can select or other and type in, I have a sesame allergy. So these are things that you can do for your, and just a note here. See how this says red, it's red, required, there's a little asterisk here. That's when you select that box to make it required. So you would go through and do these things, here, and then hit submit. But see, I didn't put my email address. Because I didn't put my email address and it's required, it will not let me submit the form until I put that in. And then I hit submit. And then I get this, your response has been recorded. Again, I suggest having something more than that. Having, if you have any questions, please email us at, or please call us at whatever. Always have a call to action somewhere. And I always suggest if you're going to use a photo that has your branding on it. Why not? And engages your colors. So forms, George has a question here. Let's see. Forms last 2 weeks. Will the sheet, yes, the sheet will update. It updates automatically. I've had sheets that have gone on for months, no problem. It updates immediately and automatically as you make changes. Yes, Gavin, that's right. And, the nice thing about this is, again, I can take this, it's Google, right? I can take this and say, I want to replicate it. Maybe I'm doing this in 2019 and I did it in 2019. I want to do it in 2020, or I do this in June and I want to do it again in July. In these 3 little dots, you can make a copy and you can have it done. You can also do things like add collaborators. So if I'm working on this project with George and I can both go in and work on this sheet, both of you. The nice thing, again, getting back to these responses and, putting it in this spreadsheet, it's the same as any Google document or what have you. I can share this with somebody and they can look at this. So maybe I don't want to give them access to edit the form, but I want to give them access to view this. I can share that as well. And we can both collect information. Great opportunity for businesses that are collaborating together. Do a project together, collect the information, and then share the results with each other. It's a fantastic product to do something like that for. And that is, you can do so much more with Google Forms. That's kind of our main thrust of what I wanted to cover in today's session. Before I close my screen, I want to make sure there aren't any other questions that anybody might have. And, please make sure that you feel free. You can share this broadcast. It's going to be kept on my Facebook page and my YouTube channel. Just search for Master It Media on YouTube or on Facebook. You're here, so I'm live here. And feel free to share it. And if anybody has any questions, you can always email me at maggie@masteritmedia.com. In the description below, I'm going to be adding a couple of extra tips and tricks along with a link to my Contact Us page in case you have any questions. Right now, I'm handling a lot of people, helping them with their websites, helping them build their social media presence. But we are also authorized partners with MailChimp, so I can help you with that as well. And of course, my experience with computers spans over 35 years. So if I don't know how to do it, I know somebody who does. So please make sure you reach out to me. We're all businesses together working with building our businesses as best as we can. So I always want to make sure that I am supporting local businesses as much as they support me. So unless we have any further questions, I'm going to sign off for the day until next Monday. Please make sure that you follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google My Business, and of course, YouTube. I'm constantly looking for people who have challenges in their business and need a little help so that I can use this as information for future Master It Monday topics. So I hope you all have a fantastic day. As you can see, I'm enjoying our beautiful weather out today. So I'm working, but I'm also getting some beautiful sunny fresh air and enjoying the day. So have a fabulous day, and I will catch you next week. Same time, same channel.